Welcome into your latest ESPN headline. I'm Tony Collins. Dwayne Wade has missed a couple of games due to injuries, and now there's reports that the Miami Heat have started trade talks looking for help. With more on this, we bring in Brian Windhorst, who covers the NBA for ESPN. Brian, what more can you tell us about these trade talk reports?
Well, the Heat are a team that has gotten used to being very effective without Dwayne Wade the last 3 years. They've had a terrific record. They were 14-3 2 years ago without him, 11-2 last year. This year, they're only 2-3, and Dwayne Wade might not even play in back-to-backs for the entire season as he watches his knee. So they've had difficulty in getting success from their backup guard positions. Eric Spoelstra has tried 3 different people starting in place of Wade when he's missed 5 of the 19 games so far this season, and they're not getting great consistency or production there. So over the last few days, the sources have told me He'd have started trade talks looking around the league to see where they could get a backup guard who could be a starter in the situations where Dwayne Wade sits games.
All right, you're with the team day in, day out. Who on the roster do you think would be an option for the trade?
The Heat have more big men than they can use, so that's probably where they would like to go. Joel Anthony has been available in trades since the summer. Even though he is a very popular player in Miami and has played his whole career there, Udonis Haslem is a guy who, if the Heat found a deal, I think they would be willing to move. Rashard Lewis is a guy who has played better this year after not playing so well last year. He could be available, not just in a trade for a guard, but the Heat would like to maybe move a player to open up a roster spot, to sign a player later, especially a guard. All of these things, I think, are on the table right now.
Brian, Wade's still recovering from an offseason procedure on his knees. He's not currently playing back-to-back games. We've seen him struggle with injuries at the end of last season. How much of a concern do you think it is at this point for the Heat that Wade may become injury-prone?
They've been dealing with this for 3 years now with Dwayne's knees, and I actually think they're taking the right approach and giving him days off. When he has played, he's looked very good, so that's a positive. But the reality is the Heat have to have a team that's available to, a guy that's available to play good minutes. They're in a fight for the #1 overall seed with the Indiana Pacers. Individual games are going to be important. They realize that, and they don't have a real reliable option like Mike Miller that they had over the last few years. So I think they're happy with where Wade is and keeping him rested. But I think that having not a solid backup for him is a concern.
Brian Windhorst with the insight. For the latest NBA news, make sure to keep it right here on ESPN.com. I'm Tony Collins with your ESPN headline.